Morning. In today's lecture, we will discuss about the infection and its control, that how patient or person get infected from hospital infection and different types of infections. Morning. In today's lecture, we will discuss about the infection and its control, that how patient or person get infected from hospital infection and different types of infections. But let us discuss first what we have already studied in our previous classes. So in our previous classes, we have discussed about the BLS, that is basic life support, and the CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So what happened in cardiopulmonary resuscitation, as I have already told you, that it is a part of BLS, that is basic life support, and CPR means we give it to those patients who have the restricted breathing or almost no breathing, and those who have no pulse at all. They are in a state of mild coma or unconsciousness. Then we have to give the CPR. What happened in CPR? We used to give 30 compressions, chest compressions per 2 ventilations. So it is a repeatedly particular mechanism or procedure which we have to follow. 30 chest compression per 2 ventilations, and the ventilation could be given mouth to mouth ventilation, or it could be given with the help of the devices like endotracheal tube or the oxygen mask, oxygen mask. So all these devices could be used for the oxygen delivery or ventilation to the patient who are unconscious in case of when we give CPR to the patient. So in this lecture, we are going to discuss about the infections and the prevention to the infection and how to control the infection, or we will see that what are different types of infections are there, like hospital acquired infections or pathogens or other kind of infections. So basically we will see that infection prevention and its control. In this lecture, we will discuss about how to prevent the infections and how to control it and how to take precaution measures to prevent the infection. So if we see that infection control principle and practices, so first of all we will discuss the evidence based infection control principles and practice. What is evidence based principle, control, prevention and practice? It means that it has been done and it has been seen and observed whether it is going to help or not. So it is based on the evidence. For a particular, like, experimentations were done that by practicing such measures, infection is preventing or not. So evidence-based infection control and principle and practice means the practices such as sterilization, disinfectants, or effective hand hygiene or hand washing, and also use of the protective personal protective equipments like PPE. So nowadays you are aware that people are using hand sanitizers a lot. People are asked to wear masks. People are asked to wear the PPE kit. Why this is so? Because they are have evidence that they, by using all these things, there are chances not to get infected, or there are chances to get infection less, very less. If you use these hygienes, if you use these measures like wearing the mask in this pandemic time of COVID-19, if you wear mask, if you do hand sanitization, if you do hand washing particularly, if you wear PPE kit, then it is going to help you in preventing or in developing the infection. It is help in preventing the infection. So infection control is very important to limit a disease or outspread of a disease. Fine. As you can say, the government and other health agencies are enhancing or encouraging people to use PPE kit, to use mask. Why so? Because they know that by using the PPE kit, by using the hand sanitization, or by using the hand washing or wearing the mask or PPE kit, the probability of getting infected becomes very less. So that is why they are asking you or encouraging you to do that in this area of pandemic COVID-19. So it is also helpful in limiting a disease or also the outspread of the disease. Therefore, we use various means of methods to prevent infections. What are those methods? As I have discussed earlier with you or told you just now, that sterilization is one of the methods which is going to help in preventing the infection control. Then disinfection, effective hand hygiene. Effective hand hygiene means the proper way of hand washing. You know the proper way of hand washing, what is it? We will discuss it in detail in another lecture. It is a particular topic in your syllabus, hand wash hygiene. Then effective hand hygiene and use of personal protective equipments, PPE. And these PPE are very important and significant and must for every healthcare personnel. You have seen that in the hospital or in the wards or in the OPDs, the doctors, the physicians, the attendants, when whoever so is the medical personnel, he has to wear the PPE kit, the face shield, the mask, the eye goggles, the gloves. These are mandatory things for the personnel who are working in a healthcare sector or in an institution, because they are used to see the patient day to day and there are more chances for them to get infected. That is why they are asked to wear PPE kit in the hospital or in the OPDs, so that the chances of getting infection is become very less. So this is all evidence based infection control principles and practices. Antibiotic is another mode of infection prevention. As you know that antibiotic is also one of the medication which is going to help in infection prevention and control. So what are antibiotics? Antibiotics are antibacterial medicines or medications. What do the antibiotics do? Actually, the antibiotics, when you take the antibiotics, they slows down the bacterial growth inside the body of the patient. And once the bacterial growth gets slowed down, the bacteria is unable to harm the patient, and slowly the patient body is able to recover from the bacterial infection. Antibiotics are responsible for the bacterial infection also. They can only fight with the bacterial infection and they are only effective in the bacterial infection. Antibiotic cannot treat the viral infection. They cannot treat cold, common cold, flu and cough. So antibiotics are the helpful in by bacterial infections only. Then you know that antibiotics include a range of powerful drugs and they can used to treat the disease caused by the bacteria. There are some facts and features of the antibiotics or the history of antibiotics. Was the Alexander Fleming was the one who discovered penicillin, and it was the first natural antibiotic that has been discovered in the year of 1928. Antibiotic cannot fight with the viral infection. They can either kill or slow the growth of the bacteria inside the body of the patient. And the side effect of the antibiotics are diarrhea, upset stomach and nausea. All these are the features or the history of the antibiotics. So antibiotics are powerful medicines. They fight with the bacterial infection and they can save lives when they are used properly. They either stop bacteria from reproducing or destroy them. Before bacteria can multiply and cause symptoms, the immune system can typically kill them. And that's how it is helpful in creating or killing the bacteria. Antibiotics are only helpful when you use them in a proper way. Like if it is a course of 3 days or 5 days, you have to complete the whole period or whole course of the antibiotic. If you stop taking one or two medication of antibiotic without completing the proper course of the antibiotic, what happens? There is a resistance develop in your body, and that resistance will helpful for the bacterial growth. Then if the resistance develop to the antibiotic or to the bacteria in your body, what will happen? The medication will not no longer will be helpful in killing that bacteria. So that is why it is important to use the antibiotic in a proper way or to complete the whole course of the antibiotic. The WBCs attacked harmful bacteria, and even if symptoms do not occur, the immune system can usually cope and fight off the infections. Sometimes, however, the number of harmful bacteria is excessive and the immune system cannot fight them at all. Antibiotics are useful in this scenario, and several types of modern antibiotics are available, and they are usually only available with the prescription in most of the countries. Antibiotics you cannot take by just going to the medicine shop and just ask them to give them medicine. Antibiotics are only being used with the prescription of the doctors. Topical antibiotics are available in all over the counter, or ointments or creams are there, but the oral antibiotics are not easily available without the medication. So it is very useful, it is very important to use the antibiotics in a proper way. Otherwise, it can cause harm to your body mechanism. So resistance, antibiotic resistance, what does it mean? According to the Centers of the Disease Control, CDC, outpatient antibiotic overuse is a particular problem, and use of carbamines and a major class of last line antibiotics increased significantly from 2007 to 2010. Then there is the danger that ignorant man may use easily and underdose himself, and by exposing his microbes to the non-lethal quantities of the drugs and make them resistant. So what happens if the resistance develop in your body? Then the drug is no longer effective to that particular bacteria, and uh, the infection do not get overcome from your body. As the man who discovered the first antibiotics almost 70 years ago predicted, drug resistance is starting to become commonplace. Drug resistance is one of the major issues regarding the antibiotics use. So it is very important to use it properly and do the whole course of the antibiotics. So what we have discussed in this lecture is about the infections and the types of infection. The infection are most commonly from the hospital acquired, or the bacterial infection, or the viral infection. Most common is the bacterial infection, and there are different methods to control the bacterial infections. So what are those methods? The common evidence-based practice to prevent the infections. What are those? They are the sterilization, disinfectant use, then use of the PPE kit. So we have already discussed that how in this scenario, in this era of pandemic COVID-19, the government and the health organizations are encouraging people to use more and more amount of sterilizations, hand sanitizers, mask, PPE kit. All these are mandatory to use in nowadays. You can see how it is important, and it is a part of our life. Without wearing a mask, we cannot step out of our homes. Why? Because they are going to help in preventing the infection, controlling the infection, and outbreaking or out spreading of the infection. It is evidence-based practice which is helpful in prevention of the infection control. The wearing of mask, the wearing of the using of the hand hygiene, hand washing properly, all these are the things which are going to help you in preventing the infection control from the COVID-19 or the also another thing which is helpful in prevention of the infection control is antibiotics. Antibiotics are the antibacterial drugs. These are the medications which are help in antibacterial medications, and they are helpful in killing the bacteria or slow down the growth of the bacteria inside the body of the patient. Once the bacterial growth becomes slowed down or the bacteria get killed, what happens? He is unable to infect the person. The bacteria is unable to cause any harm to the patient. So that is why antibiotics are being used to prevent the bacterial infection. One of the major thing is that antibiotics are only helpful in helping the bacterial infection. It is not effective in the viral infection. Antibiotics have a variety of drugs, and antibiotics should be used in a proper way. If we do not use the antibiotics in a proper way, it can cause damage to our body, and it can cause resistance development in our body. If the resistance get developed in your body, then the antibiotics is no longer effective to cause any kind of help or killing the bacteria or making the bacteria unable to cause harm to your body. So it is very important to do a proper course of the antibiotics. The history of antibiotic was that it was discovered by the Alexander Fleming, and antibiotics only kills the bacteria, not the virus. It is not helpful in common cold, flu and fever. And other thing is, antibiotic side effect could be stomach upset, nausea and diarrhea. These are all the symptoms of side effects of the antibiotics. So what we have discussed in this lecture is about the infections and the types of infection. The infection are most commonly from the hospital acquired or the bacterial infection or the viral infection. Most common is the bacterial infection, and there are different methods to control the bacterial infections. So what are those methods? The common evidence-based practice to prevent the infections. What are those? They are the sterilization, disinfectant use, then use of the PPE kit,